Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Deadfire with me, Bring It Dawn. Let's meet with the Rathoon and see if they have a plan for Aethus. A kith, able to bear the torque. Fireless in death, this warrior's body is being ceremoniously prepared for cremation. I wonder if they use the lava to cremate them, because they're immune to fire damage. The blades of these weapons have warped after prolonged exposure to the lava's heat. A Nap Scoria figurine. Summons 2 magma oozes. The small idol demonstrates surprisingly detailed work for a Rathoon craftsman. It bears several magronite markings, though the artistry is crude. Smoke wafts occasionally from the porous stone, and stains whatever it touches with soot and ash.
I'll see what I can do. It is done.
A sacrifice to the goddess is the noblest of deaths. Magron will honor his soul. Okay, but
Yes?
why did he die?
Indeed. That's unusual. Subtle indeed. The work of a moment.
We got Fire Thrower's Gloves. Grants Artificer's Precision, +2 Dexterity and +2 Explosives. And Spellbending, +1 Arcana, +1 all evocation power levels. These leather gloves are cracked and discolored from contact with alchemical compounds and burning gunpowder. The fingertips, blackened from fuse and flame, still provide surprising dexterity and grip. The artificer Elmai Borst crafted them during her time with the Deerwooden Grenadier Company during the Saints' War, where she oversaw the construction and implementation of the unit's explosives. Due to the rapidity of the Raedseran incursion into the Palatinate, the Deerwoodens were frequently short on supplies, even in their home territory. Elmai had to make do with what little powder and other components she had. As the war escalated, the artisan found her presence necessary on the front lines, both to resupply her troops and offer instruction. Her valiant leadership and the courage of her troops earned her company the moniker Elmai's Fire Throwers. Whether these gloves belong to Elmai herself or one of her soldiers is unknown. So they would be good on my main character, because he does throw out a lot of evocation spells. And that's an upgrade for her.
I sure do like it.
Aye, of course.
Alright, that works for me.
How may I help?
Supposing this volcano blows, what are the odds any of us but Gone survives it?
I do not know much about volcanoes, but when they keep rumbling like this, that is not good, yes?
When the warlord spots you, his shoulders stiffen, and he reaches for the mace strapped to his back.
Kith, how is it you have come to be here? Nay, it is of little matter.
I'm not here to fight you.
Your words hold no weight, Kith. Rathoon decide their own battles.
His words boom from behind his helm without falter, yet he does not strike. With a raised hand, he signals his warriors to wait. There's no reason for us to fight, when we can be of aid to each other instead. He scrubs a hand over the front of his helm, apparently weighing your words.
I concede to your point. For the time being. Aethus deserves death, not words. The Defiler God has brought war to Ashen Maw in revenge against Margaret and her Rathoon.
The warlord regards you hotly, fire sweat dripping down his neck. His surrounding warriors clang their weapons against their chests or the floor, clamoring for blood.
What is your relation to Eothas, if not to act with him against Margaret?
Aethus stole a part of my soul. I need it back.
Then you two have cause against Eothas, as we do. We are prepared to assault Eothas at the base of the Maw.
The warlord gestures to the shrine of Margaret behind him.
The shrine will lower us to the sacred Adra pillar, where the embodied god now gluts himself.
Let me through. I'll speak with Aethus and convince him to leave this place.
Even if I believed you, I cannot do such a thing.
He shakes his head. His eyes burn, fiercely intent.
We guard the sacred depths of the Maw. None may freely enter. Thus the shrine lies dormant, locked without the talk of Bethacton.
He shoves his shoulders back with pride.
Our High Priestess. The Brenthis is the talk's rightful bearer, but she has yet to return to the keep.
I found your Brenthis. She's dead.
Then it is as I feared, and as I felt. Her flames have been extinguished. I do not share the Brenthis' ability to commune with Margaret, but I must believe the goddess would will us to fight. We must make a final stand.
If you assault Aethus, you'll be slaughtered.
To die for Margaret is the greatest honor. We live only to protect the goddess, and to serve her will. And Margaret has obliterated Eothas before, has she not?
In a manner of speaking. I have the torque.
I heard shouts of your triumph preceding you. It would seem you are unparalleled among your kind. And mine. What became of the Ancient? Jorda Fairless? Triumph will be nigh impossible without her.
What makes you think something happened to her?
Face beat red, Jody chokes, pounding on her chest as she struggles for air.
Whatever gave you people the idea that dragon would let you ride her?
The warlord tilts his head as if considering the true meaning of your companion's reaction. Growing distrustful, he tightens his grip on his mace.
You will answer me, Kith, without trickery or lies.
The dragon has forsaken you. He falls silent, the scrawlings on his skin flaring hotly.
Indeed. I feared the worst when the Brenthis failed to return with the beast. We've no choice. Despite the odds, we'll attack without either's strength.
I thought we convinced the dragon to help us. He shakes his head, the motion grave.
If this is to be our last stand, we must prepare ourselves, either for victory or for sacrifice. Lest Margaret forsake us for our failures. You've earned the right to Fire Shrine, with the talk of the Ever Flame. But we cannot join you as yet, in facing the Defiler.
Farewell. Let's go back this way.
On it.
Hey, Adrabon! We need that. And an ornate ashen key. A symbol of Magrin adorns the head of this giant black metal key.
Aye? There's a walloping! That's it!
I'm doing it this way with Aloth because I want to keep my main character away from these Rathoon. Because I don't know if the blackened plate's raw damage is going to aggro them.
Of course.
And there's no reason to risk it.
Always seemed real cold to me for a fire god. Like she'd rather see you die struggling than offer help.
Massive chains hold the weight of the shrine's conveyable platform.
Kith.
He nods once. Farewell. You stand before the shrine of Magrin, goddess of flame and war. Lifting your eyes, fiery motes begin to streak across your vision as you stare into the imposing cast of her likeness. For the span of a single breath, everything falls eerily silent. The Rathoon behind you fade away. Flames to either side of you flicker higher, dancing without sound. But the heat is real, licking at your skin. Then metal groans as Magrin's statue bends her head to you in greeting.
Watcher, the time does not allow for niceties.
Her words flow like lava from her lips, like the trails that burble hotly from her eyes.
Even now, Aethus gains strength from the spire. What progress have you to report?
The Rathoon are preparing a final assault against Aethus.
Then they will burn to ash and return to the mud kiln from whence they came.
She leans forward, the copper of her corded arms gleaming from the blustering flames. She tugs her sword free from her plinth, and the entire shrine shudders with heat.
Presently, I shall erupt this volcano, and with it, consume Aethus. I suggest you retreat if you at all value your mortal form.
Do you not care about the Rathoon at all?
I formed the Rathoon to serve, to ward against Kith in order to safeguard Ukaizo. Now they have served me. Their sacrifice is not without honor, as yours, too, will be. Fare thee on, Watcher. My condolences, should you die.
She inclines her head once more in a stalwart farewell. An avatar of the goddess flashes over the imposing statue before you. As the image fades, Rapson leaves the shrine cold and deathly silent. Interact with the shrine. A statue of Magrin towers above you. Bloodied and battle-ready, the goddess clutches both sword and shield. At the base of the statue, a rectangular, iron-slatted altar rests between two unlit braziers. Examine the altar. The slatted top of the altar has been hammered silver water smooth, except for a singular circular groove notched deep into the center of the slab. Charred bits of metal, leather, and bones are piled in the interior of the circular groove, the remains of prior offerings to the goddess. Place the torque on the altar. The braziers on either side of the altar flare to life, red-hot flames shooting high before settling into a steadier, softer burn within the bowls. Lava eddies beneath iron grating in the floor, heating the soles of your feet, while a statue herself seems to wake. Whoops. Metal groaning, rasping as the shrine moves. A statue of Margaret towers above you, eyes flaming, fists gripping her instruments of war. At the base of the statue, a rectangular iron-slatted altar rests between two blazing braziers. In the center of the altar, the Torth of Bithocton brightly burns, an offering to Margaret. Descend into the depths of Ashen Maw. I don't know if that sound's going to stop. With a squeal of metal against metal, the entire floor drops a stomach-lurching 5 feet. Chains clang like the toll of a bell as they catch, pounding against the time-worn gears. Then the shrine begins steadily lowering into the maw. As the shrine cranks lower into the maw, Aethus' colossal adra carved dome, neck, and shoulders slowly emerge into view. This close, the god rises up like a mountain, larger than you ever remember having seen him. Energy vibrates from his massive body, and a cacophony of mutterings and shouts from the souls whirling within it slams into you, nearly knocking you from your feet. Alright, Aethus, you big nerd. Where's my soul?
You're certain he wanted us all to come?
Have you ever seen anything so awe-inspiring? Behold the power of my god.
Watcher, I wasn't sure you'd make it. But there is enough of you in me to grasp that you had a better chance than most. Some would say it's because you have a strong soul. Great deeds come easily to one so spiritually blessed. Or have you become great because of what has been thrust upon you? Watcher of Cadnua, Herald of Berith, Hound of Eothas.
Oh my god. You're really, this can't.
I see you, Shoti. I am glad that we could meet, even if it is under quite unpleasant circumstances.
This is really happening, right? Gon, your humble priestess is before you. Please, tell me what you require of me. How do I save more lost souls than I can carry in one lifetime?
Face bright red, sweat beading her brow. Shoti stumbles precariously closer to the edge. Lantern rattling, she catches herself. A mere moment before she would have toppled over.
I know that you have undertaken a noble mission. But I will tell you what I told the Watcher. You need not fear for the lost souls of this world. As for you, Watcher, why is it you believe you have made it this far?
Each of us simply does the best we can. My trials have made me who I am.
You have done much in this life, it's true. But if it weren't for your past with Theos, with Eothas, you never would have come down this path. But you have come a great distance for answers. What would you ask of me, Watcher?
That we have. And I got a request. Down here. God, look how full my lantern is. I've been harvesting day and night for you, my god.
Lantern rattling, sickle gripped so tight her knuckles are white. She waves her arms over her head as she shouts.
My dear Shodi, I do not mean to diminish your presence here. But this is a question that the Watcher needs to answer. He alone was tasked with pursuing me. The gods have placed him in this fire. It is only right that we speak together now.
Can you atone for all of the damage you've done?
No, not now. Not in your lifetime. Perhaps in 100 generations, the books and tongues of Kith will forget the name Eothas. A penance, paid in full, noted by none. That would be my absolution.
You're just gonna wait for us to forget what you did? That's your penance?
Adair stands in a broad posture, the one he so often takes when placing himself between friend and foe. His neck is sharply craned to meet the unblinking stare of his god.
How about you start by giving back the souls you took? Or maybe by apologizing to every one of your followers, especially the ones that died for you.
The molten rock of Magrin's teeth gleams bright orange in his eyes, and he looks like a man overtaken by a furious spirit.
You owe this Watcher here. You owe my brother Woden, and every last one of us that ever followed you. And you owe me. I never asked you for much, but you owe me better than what you're given.
I cannot atone for my mistakes with words alone, Adair. I know this now. It is why I began this journey and why I must move on. But you have come here for other answers. Why I have returned. Where I am going. Am I answering to you, or to Berith?
After all you've done, I think every creature that lives and breathes on Eora needs to know.
And it would seem even she whose presence shakes the heart of this mountain needs to know.
Magrin is prepared to take drastic measures to stop you.
Magrin fears what I will do, just as she feared what I would do in the Deerwood. But this time, there is no power on Eora or in all of hell to stop me. Understand that what I'm saying is neither a boast nor a challenge. It is the clearest statement of truth I can give you, give Berith, in the hopes of dissuading you from taking actions that may harm others.
Says the one who's killed thousands walking from the Deerwood to Deadfire.
Yes. I am sacrificing lives from this generation for the benefit of those who have not yet been born. The other gods may be willing to make similar sacrifices, but they will be in vain. I am going to force gods and mortals alike to open their eyes to one another, and all the powers of hell cannot drive me from this course. It seems my sister does not like the sound of that.
Can you be more specific? What are you trying to do?
I want to return the gods to our original purpose, and to allow mortals to worship us, or ignore us, for what we are, not what we pretend to be.
Shodi gasps sharply, for once too stunned to blurt out a response. Her eyes are wild, with too much white showing, when she glances from Aethus to you.
What's that mean? You're gonna tell them the truth?
Adair looks away from Aethus for the moment, his eyes darting back and forth, as if between possible outcomes.
When I entered Widewin, I did so with the intention of illuminating the history of Anguith. I wanted to show all the nations of the Eastern Reach the machines we had used to create ourselves. How we had hidden our true nature from mortals for millennia. But even if I had succeeded, my words would have been easy to deny. Belief creates the foundation upon which a mind's reality is built. Some minds can never let go of that foundation. They would rather hold tight to the world in their mind than accept what they're being told.
If that's so, what are you doing this time that will make any difference?
I have not come to speak, to convince, to plead, but to break the foundations of belief itself, to extinguish the lights that maintain the illusions we have created. We took on the mantles of gods from legends, and in so doing, made real what was false, crafted truth from fiction. The time has come for a new covenant between gods and mortals. One forged in the light of truth and understanding between our kind. I will leave this place and go to the lost city the Huana call Ukaizo. It is there that all souls pass through the machines of the gods, where all souls pass into the beyond before beginning their next life. When I reach that place, I will find our great machines and tear them to pieces. I will smash the great wheel until the lights of hell all gutter and die. And when my work is done, I will leave this world forever.
Where does that leave us? You're ending the rule of the gods?
No, Adair. It is not for me to decide if the gods should remain in power. That will be for your kind, for mortals, to decide.
I think realistically, saying nothing here is probably the best response. It's a lot to take in.
I admit that's not the response I expected, especially given the volcano erupting around us. Still, I'm surprised Magrin is reacting this way. I would have thought she would appreciate a trial of this magnitude, one that tests us all. Both gods and mortals alike rely on the wheel. We depend on it for the souls that give us power. Mortals depend on it for the lives of future generations. Breaking it will force all of us to face the truth. We will fail together or move forward together. Either ending is preferable to the cycle we still find ourselves in.
Go on, wait! Before it's too late, you gotta take the souls I harvested for you.
The priestess thrusts her light-pulsing lantern outward, as if waiting for Eothas to take it from her.
They are not for me to take. Shodi, you are their guardian now. You are their protector. You have taken responsibility for them, and only you can decide their fate.
That's an odd response, considering he's currently absorbing souls to empower himself.
Once again, the gods have put you in a precarious position, Watcher. Considering all the troubles I have put you through, the least I can do is protect you from the wrath Magrin has intended for me.
This doesn't make us even, you know.
Perhaps I will have another opportunity to make amends. Until then, this will have to do. Brace yourself, Watcher.
Guys and gals, we are literally being touched by the hand of God right now.
Despite herself, Shodi squeals. Trembling, she sways on her feet as if she might faint.
You better be sure of what you're doing, Aethus. You better be making things right. Because either way, we're the ones paying the cost.
All that I have done for your sake. If we do not meet again, Adair, please, take care of the Watcher.
Aethus's great hand floats away from the luminous Adra pillar. As it pulls back, for a brief moment you see a golden tether flash into existence between the pillar and the great Titan's back. When the Adra fingers gently cradle you, there is first a sensation of warmth, but it is followed by a harsh splitting of consciousness. Your awareness vacillates erratically between the physical world and the spiritual dimension of Aethus' body. Your soul glides amid the many trapped with Eothas. As your brilliant form passes by them, they call and reach out for help. Below Aethus' body, the volcano erupts. Molten rock rushes over the great Adra body, but does not slow its movement. Rathoon rush to higher ground, but cannot outpace the lava, which overwhelms and consumes them as it rises. Your attention returns to the heart of Aethus' body. Deep within the whirling masses of souls, you again sense your own presence, the fragment that was taken from you. This time, you reach out to it as it reaches out to you. You meet somewhere in the great mass of Adra, the rest of the souls fading at the edge of your awareness. We are together again. Are you ready to be together again?
Why wouldn't I be?
Since we've parted, you've become someone else. I have become myself. When we join, we won't be ourselves anymore. Your senses yank back to your body, still in Aethus' hand. There is light, sunlight. He has emerged from Ashen Maw, the rim of the volcano and the great keep of the Rathoon collapsing behind him. The Adra is barely visible through the thick lava covering his body, and still, he moves. The ocean is gone, water sucked away, leaving only the bare seabed glistening in an ominous silence. You summon the strength to turn your head. Through the cracks in the great god's fingers, you see a wall of water, taller than Nekataka, taller than Aethus, as tall as the moon. It comes with the rumbling of a terrible stampede.
So Adra's throwing her lot in with Magrin, trying to stop Aethus right here.
The wave slams into Aethus. His hand closes, protecting you from the devastation. Somewhere in your mind, you hear Andra screaming. You are back inside him. Back with yourself. Are you still the same Watcher who gave the lost souls of the Deerwood to the strongest of that land? The soul observes you, waiting. I am.
This implies that was the worst choice, which I do think that the option where you side with Helia was another really good option. I feel like there's a lot of concerns that weren't brought up by taking that option. I don't fully agree with option 1, and I think I've changed a bit. I'm a little bit more benevolent in this run than I was in the first game. So, no, I've changed for the better.
This may be painful then, but I suppose it will be so for both of us. You feel cool air, seawater. The back of your mind pulls your attention back to your body. Eothas stands amid the now calm waves. Kraken futilely clinging to his limbs as he gingerly sets down your ship with one hand. He carefully opens his other, setting your body on the deck. As your head comes to rest, your vision rocks forward, pulled back into the Adra, back to your soul. Some of us is lost to him. Fragments and the empty spaces between them. They will always be a part of him. But we are still us. And it's time for us to go. Together.
Option 2. No. You stay. I go. Now we're gonna go with option 1. Together.
The soul rushes toward you, flying into you with ferocious speed. You are thrust back through the Adra, out of the palm of Aethus' hand, back into your body. You can feel the sensation of your skin, the warmth of the Adra, but you are not fully in control. The other soul struggles to reach the surface of the body's consciousness, but you pull it down. Entangled, you float in a dark, boundless expanse. The more you fight each other, the closer you become, until somehow, impossibly, every piece of you is touching every piece of them. Through the distant window of your eyes, you see Aethus push slowly against your ship. Though his touch is light, it is still the touch of a god. The ship lurches, rapidly tearing across the water southward. His hand pulls away from your ship's wake, his body straightening, towering overhead. The volcanic rock, now cooled and gently steaming, sloughs from his body as he moves. The adra beneath is still immaculate, unmarred. He watches you depart, and you hear a voice in your mind as you sink deeper into the blackness of sleep.
Tell them what you have witnessed, Watcher. Tell them what is coming.
The windows of your eyes retreat into the distance. The fragment of your soul is so close to you in the darkness that you can't tell if its thoughts are separate from your own. Eothas is going to Ukaizo?
Aethus is going to Ukaizo.
He's going to stop the wheel?
He's going to stop the wheel.
Eothas is going to Ukaizo. Eothas is going to Ukaizo. He's going to stop the wheel. The words repeat in your mind until they become an incessant, meaningless mantra. Involuntary meditation in the emptiness of your unconscious. When the words finally dissolve and become part of the darkness, you see a pinpoint of light. You no longer sense the other soul. No longer sense the person you were before Aethus touched you. You swim toward the light. As you come closer, the light becomes two blurry spots of radiance. You settle in behind your eyes and feel your lips already moving, mumbling. Around your body you sense familiar scents and sounds, voices raised in shock and alarm. You take control of your mouth, opening it wide and drawing a great breath.
A pounding headache drags you most of the way back to your senses. Your vision blurs and an acrid taste fills your parched mouth. The details of the room slowly come into focus, the sounds of an ongoing debate a distant echo.
Are we simply going to wait? What if he never wakes up?
Are those frilled collars stuffed in your ears? If the Watcher's mumblings are right, then Eothas is marching on Ukaizo. We have to move.
In the brief silence, hear Hazanui Karu's boots scrape against the tile as she paces.
He's seizing power from the very gods who betrayed him, destroying the wheel to make sure they never come back.
She shakes her head and chuckles with grim appreciation.
It's a coup, and we have to muster the strength to stop it.
The unraveling of Kohopa from Tangaloa is our greatest test from the gods, I say. We must live to deserve the world they make for us.
Onikaza rests her chin on her fist and considers. The assembled leaders turn their attention away from each other in a prolonged and thoughtful silence. At last you feel fully present and steady on your feet. The attention of the room abruptly shifts to you, filling the void with expectant whispers. I'm fine, not that anyone asked.
You bear witness to the work of the gods. It seems they are not finished with you yet.
Are you quite all right? You have been out of sorts since... whatever that was.
Her golden eyes dart over you with concern.
Join our talks, I say. Rational discussion will gust away the ominous smoke rising from Ashen Maw.
Onikaza gestures to you with an open palm.
The Deadfire is no stranger to cataclysm. We can survive by cleaving to a shared purpose, a greater good, Akira.
She looks to each of the envoys in turn.
For what else did the gods place us here? We who have ships and resources enough to make a difference.
Castell glances around the room at the gathered parties, his brows climbing.
What we need is brass. Rawatai has ships and cannons aplenty, but the only way I'm sending them is if...
She breaks off at the boom of a door slamming open. Commotion echoes from the entrance hall. As everyone turns towards the noise, her hand strays to her gun. The sound of approaching footsteps grows in volume as a courier scrambles into the throne room, panting and glistening with sweat. His mouth opens and closes like a fish gasping desperately for breath.
Ships have formed the blockade around Queen's Berth. Their commander demands parley with Serpent's Crown.
What? But what about our ships? I must get a message through to the captains.
For what do our enemies paint a target on their hull? This is a stirring bid for my attention.
Onikaza narrows her gaze past the open door.
Send word to my water shapers to drain the sea around the flagship. I would parley on better terms than this.
Onikaza begins to rise, but the courier speaks up ahead of her.
My queen! They fly the colors of pirates! The Principe are...
Well, what have we here?
A confident voice booms from the open door. The motley sailors who don't hold the Juana guards at bay with drawn weapons take in some of the more opulent decorations with avid interest. One pirate separates out from the fold, sauntering boldly forward.
Forgive me, lovesome, but it looks like you're having a party. A rather fine one to which you didn't invite me.
She winks, swollen neck glinting in the light as she cocks her pistol high above her head.
You painted vagrants are a plague on my tribes. Why should I not hang you from the walls of my garden?
Onikaza grips the handrest of her throne, as if ready to vault up and attack.
You should be asking yourself how they got in here in the first place.
She glowers in the direction of the throne.
Oh, I do love when they squabble. But I'm here for neither pleasantries nor entertainment. We've bigger fish to fry. Or should I say gods?
A determined-looking guard inches closer to Aldis from the edge of the court. Without looking, the Principe captain swivels her pistol to aim straight at his chest.
Now everyone just calm down. I promise we won't fire on you at this time. Unless firstly provoked. That is, until once we've safely absconded from the city back to the high seas.
She grins magnanimously.
Then all bets are off again, aye?
Yes, well, if you have a point, pirate, I suggest you reach it quickly.
We're supposed to take a bunch of pirates at their word?
She crosses her arms, the wooden hand groaning.
Right you are. However...
The narrow-eyed look she settles on the room is more than a little bloodthirsty.
I'm here because I've got questions, ones that can't wait. And the lovesome Watcher's the only one likely to answer them nicely.
If we want to reach Ukaizo, we'll need every ship at our disposal.
Ukaizo? What's the lost city of gold got to do with a god on a rampage?
Using the barrel of her gun, she tips her hat back curiously. Aethus is going there to break the reincarnation cycle.
Well, fuck if that doesn't put things into perspective. But what's that even mean in the long run? Folks who die won't be coming back again.
Their souls will be trapped in the in-between.
This is all dark and foreboding sounding. But what's it mean for my soul? I mean, I like the idea of pirating throughout the Great Beyond as much as the next gal. But if, say, I got no awareness after I die, does it even matter what happens?
Ak, of course you have no interest past that of your eyes and your stomach. Let us speak now of what can be done. Must be done. Watcher, you know best of all of us what our options are.
Our only hope is to reason with him.
If he's heading to Ukaizo, then the time for speeches is over. We have to act quickly. Defending Ukaizo is the highest priority.
A pensive, focused look sharpens the lines in her face. She scratches her cheek with the fingers of her wooden hand.
Our ships are fast and well-equipped. We could sail to the edge of Andra's mortar. See if Eothas' passage opens a way through the storms.
She narrows her eyes, watching the others.
Of course, finding Ukaizo once we're through is another matter.
I can sense Aethus in Andra's mortar. My soul calls out from inside him.
That's so. You just might be able to save us.
She scratches her chin, an eager glimmer in her eyes.
We speak of collectively sailing for Andra's mortar, but this crown will not support any plan that involves a single outsider ship landing on the shores of Ukaizo.
A hush falls across the room as Onikaza makes her proclamation.
It is for this moment that the gods test me. Anyone who seeks to cross Andra's mortar will learn that the gates of Ukaizo are the end of compromise with the Huana.
We're not here to debate over territory. Our souls are in jeopardy.
I think I'm getting the gist of it now.
She rubs the barrel of her gun under her jaw thoughtfully, as she crooks you a cunning grin.
While these witless princocks go at each other's throats, we Principi will cut through the storms and plunder the City of Gold. Whatever Eothas is seeking in those ruins, we'll find it, and then we'll sell it to the highest bidder. That, or me and mine will have front row seats to the end of the world.
If the Huana cannot take back our beginning, then our end fast approaches. The gods will judge us by our devotion to Ukaizo.
Are you going to guard it as closely as you've guarded your palace today?
She shoots a meaningful stare at the pirates.
Ukaizo was yours once, and you lost it. Meanwhile, the storms that cover Andra's mortar plague Rauatai too. We will help the Watchers stop Aethus, but we will not leave our country's future in soft hands. We hope the Watcher agrees.
She nods to you.
Watcher, there are two kinds of people in the Deadfire. Those who have called it home since time immemorial, and opportunists.
Onikaza glares at the assembled dignitaries.
With Ukaizo under our control, the Huana would restore order as it has not been seen since the days of our ancestors.
She nods slowly, holding her gaze all the while.
Order. And the only question is whether it will be the order of ignorance and tradition, or else of conquest. The secrets to be found in Ukaizo could elevate us all beyond the telling. I will not relinquish that dream so easily.
With that, Castel turns to stride away, his shoulders set in a rigid line. Without so much as a final farewell, Aldise tips her head to her armed crew, and the pirates withdraw as swiftly as they arrived.
Watcher, I say the time to play at freelancing is at an end. Any of us could get you to Ukaizo, but only one of us will stand by your side.
Studying you carefully, Onikaza nods and gestures for attendants to clear the room.
Let's speak, Watcher, while we have the chance.
Oh, we don't have to forge an alliance, we just go by ourselves. I wonder if that's the better option. Well, either way, I'm going to call it here for now. Next time, we may make that decision, or do something else. We'll figure it out then. Either way, for now, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one.